So my name's Jane Windle-Hartshorn and I'm the Area Manager for Family Lives in Gloucestershire and the South West. We're a national charity that provides a range of parenting support services, and we have 6 regional offices throughout the country. We provide national services which include a helpline, email support and online services, and then in our regional offices we have community-based services which are mainly parenting groups and workshops and intensive one-to-one coaching alongside a volunteer base that helps support families in the home as well. We started working with health practitioners in Gloucestershire about 3.5 years ago when the Big Lottery awarded us a fund to work with 8 GP practices in our area, and the purpose of that was to provide parenting support services that would support families that were repeatedly going in to see their doctor about stress, depression and anxiety, when it was very clear that some of the issues that were impacting on their health were related to the family or related to family stress. And we wanted to provide a service that offered an alternative to clinical intervention or work alongside that intervention. The opportunities for Family Lives to work with health professionals was huge for us, because we knew that we were not engaging with a number of parents that were going to their GPs and talking about their health issues that were certainly related to the emotional health of their families, and that obviously having an impact on them, on their physical health. And we had a huge success through this 3-year project in engaging with high levels and high numbers of parents that came in. And the second purpose was to strengthen our links with the healthcare professionals in the hope that we could provide a service that really would add value to the kinds of things that they were offering. And also to position ourselves in a way in terms of clinical commissioning groups, which we thought at that time were going to be in existence in that 3-year period of time later on, and that we would be in a good position for them to actually really see that the service was invaluable, and this is something that we would like to commission. This is something that we really see adds value and improves the offer that we can make to families. There were challenges when we introduced this project. We had a big job of going out and selling in the service that we wanted to provide. Some GPs and health professionals that we spoke to, they really understood where we were coming from and could see how that would fit with the families that they were working with at that time. And for others, I think it was more difficult. It was new, lack of knowledge about the voluntary sector and how that works. Are you professional? What is it that you do? How do I? There are all those things that we had to overcome and really demonstrate that we could do really, really well. And by doing so, we talked about other projects, other partnerships that we'd had, and really had to demonstrate our skill and expertise in these fields, and really also explain the outcomes and the evaluations of our work with families to show actually this makes an impact and makes a difference. I think health practitioners could help to improve their community development skills in a number of ways. There's a number of them that we work with that actually have them, and I think there's a lot of people that do have them, but they're so stretched and so busy in their workload that's quite hard, which is why services like ours actually do support some of the work that they're doing. But one of the simple things they can do is really looking geographically, doing kind of an audit of what's happening in that geographical area. From, is there somebody providing debt advice, housing advice, are there play activities, are there nutrition, health, just really getting a good idea about what's out there in their vicinity, because then that just gives you a toolkit in your head when you're talking with families to be able to signpost onto things that are happening locally and in their area. The other thing that they could also do is offer to shadow, contact organisations like Family Lives and other organisations out there, where they could come along and shadow some of our workers, join groups or come along to one-to-one work, and a whole range of different settings to get an insight which would help build up a knowledge about other organisations or activities that are happening in the area. I think what Family Lives would do differently with the knowledge and expertise that we've gathered is to actually set up formal partnerships with the practices that we engaged with. I think we were so grateful to how the project introduced and received and to have it delivered was really good, but one of the things that we really needed to measure and to evaluate at the end of that work was the impact that we'd actually had within that healthcare field. So had we made a difference to a health visitor's workload, or taken some pressure off knowing that they could signpost a family onto our services when they needed to end? Did we make a difference to a GP who repeatedly saw a parent come in with particular health issues, and actually after our intervention they've seen less visits? Those are sorts of things we wanted to measure. So we've taken that learning. So that's one thing that we would do more formally the next time round, which is what we're starting to do now, to really strengthen, to make it be a true partnership, that we're providing services that add value to the health sector, that improve capacity, increase capacity, but really have some synergy in what they're doing as well, so that it's meaningful and effective, most importantly for the families that we're working with. For health practitioners, a useful exercise really would be to gather a bit more knowledge about the voluntary sector and how it operates and how they're set up and how they deliver services, and I think that would be really, really useful just to have an insight, because there's so many of us out there delivering really, really important services for families, and just having an awareness and knowledge of how they operate, I think just forges clearer conversations when you're trying to work in partnership. And I think that would, we had to learn a new language when we were approaching health professionals. We did. We needed to shift slightly in the way that we were talking, so that it would be meaningful. And I think likewise that knowledge on the other side would be really useful, and I think it would just facilitate clearer, easier conversations in the future.